By the way, I apologize for this lighting because it's like 10 p.m. and I'm literally filming this at night. But who cares? Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video. And I wanted to make a story time video, but since I don't have a lot of really long stories, I thought I would put a bunch of short stories into one story time video. And I don't know, let me know what you guys think, comment below and see what you guys think. And give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe if you have not, that would really help out. But these are a lot of scary stories, so I don't know, I'm really kind of terrified right now. I'm filming, it's like 10:22 right now, and I'm filming at night this scary story time video. I don't know what I was thinking of doing this, but I'm really scared right now. I'm not even kidding, I'm scared. I'm literally scared right now. Disclaimer, all of these stories will not all be mine. A lot of these stories are some that my parents have told me and aunts and uncles and little stuff like that. Because I don't know, I haven't really experienced that many paranormal stuff myself. I have little things, okay, let me tell you this. This happened recently, 2 weeks ago. Okay, my parents were in Mexico, right? So I was home alone. And it was really scary because I came home, I want to go take a nap because I take naps a lot, like I said. I said that in my previous video. I take naps a lot. And I went to my room to take a nap. Literally while I was in my room, I was already falling asleep, right? I was falling asleep. And all of a sudden I hear this loud ass noise, really loud ass noise in the living room right here. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, why does it sound like the TV's on? I came to check, literally the TV was on, and I was like, how did it turn off by itself? I swear that was so scary. I don't even know. I called my mom, right? I was like, what's going on, you know? Why did the TV turn on by itself? And then, I told my mom because I was really scared, and I went out for a walk because I don't know what to do. I just left the house. I couldn't stay here by myself. I just couldn't. My mom told me that this has happened before, and she was like, oh, it's probably something technical. Probably the TV's all messed up because we're always messing with the buttons on the TV. And I'm like, I don't think, what does that have to do with anything though? Because nothing was touching it. I was in the room. How did that happen? You know what I mean? How is that supposed to happen? And I was like, that's crazy. And then, well, I was like, whatever. I tried to go. But then later on, my sister told me that she was here too because I left to Richmond last week. I wasn't here. And my sister said that she was here and she swears that the TV's turned on by itself too. And I was like, what? No, this needs to stop. It's pretty scary. My brothers have told me little things about this house, you can hear dishes moving at night or whatever, and I'm like, I don't mess with that. So I thought I would just put a bunch of scary stories in here from my family, I guess. Let's get to it. So this one is about my mom and this one scary doll, I guess. Okay, so do you guys know those dolls that you have to pull the string out of the dolls so they can say something, like Woody, you know? Okay, so she had one of those, but it was a girl doll or whatever, I guess, I don't know. And she told me that literally she kept playing with it, because I guess, obviously back then in Mexico, not everybody had that type of money to be buying toys a lot. So I guess this was a huge deal for them, they had a toy. So they were hella playing with it. And I guess mom told me that she was literally pulling on it so many times that it told her literally, déjame en paz, which means obviously, I don't know if, well, for the ones that don't know Spanish, that means, leave me alone, leave me in peace. I'm like, I swear, if that would have happened, I would have ran out of the damn room and through the doorway. I don't know. I don't mess with dolls. So yeah. That's one little one, I guess. I know it's not that much. You guys probably like it, but you know, that's one of them. Oh my god. So this one is about my mom. This one was that when she barely started I guess when she barely married my dad, she started going to church a lot, and back then she wasn't that type of person to be going to church regularly. You know what I mean? That really religious person. So I guess she said that once when she was going to sleep, she felt the sheets off the bed pulling off of her, her blanket kept pulling off of her, and then she would pull it back up, and then it kept pulling back, and she kept doing that, and it kept happening, it kept going on and on, and she was so terrified. And then she just told me that she probably thought it was probably the devil. I know some of you guys are probably not religious, don't believe in stuff like this, but I get, well, since we're Mexican, it's a lot of Catholicism. So, and she said she probably thought it was probably the devil that was mad, I guess, because she was religious now. I don't know, but it's pretty scary if you think about it. Just imagine, that's pretty creepy, honestly. If that would have happened to me, I think I would have cried. There's little things like that, I don't mess with that. Okay, so here's another one. This one is about my brothers and my mom and my sister when they were younger. I wasn't born yet. So, while my sister was small, I don't think she was probably even, she probably doesn't even remember this. But in my hometown in Mexico, it's Chavina, Michoacan. And there's a lot of stories about horses and stuff, because I guess back then there were a bunch of cristeros, and that's when people would get killed for believing in God. So like a lot of people were like killed for like being religious or whatever. And I guess they rode in horses, and they had chains, and I guess they killed people. They were like terrible. They were like terrible people, you know. That was really back in the day. I think like way back, like old times, like 1800s and stuff. So that's really old. But yeah, so that happened, and now there's like stories in the town where like people are sleeping and they hear like horses and chains like running through the street if you're like up past 11 or whatever. So yeah, and I guess back then it was around the 90s, I think. Yeah. I guess back then when my brothers were little, they liked telling scary stories with like my mom and their friends. I guess they were telling hella scary stories until it was like really late at night. So their friends went home, blah, 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 whatever. I was all fine and dandy, and then they went to sleep. And my brothers were like really scared, so they told my mom if they could sleep together because they were scared. And mom was like, okay, whatever, so come sleep with us. So they slept in a room. And at night, I guess they heard the horses and chains, and I'm like, that they heard it, and my mom was like, what did I tell you guys? You guys shouldn't be telling scary stories like this, especially at night. Like, don't do that. So they heard that, and it was like pretty scary. I guess it's traumatizing if you're in that moment. And okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys this little legend in our town. Not really a legend, because I guess it turned out to be true. It turned out to be really true. There's this story about this man who lived in my hometown, Chavinda. And he went to the United States, I guess, for a while, but he had a wife and kids back in my hometown. And he came to the United States. And I guess he found some woman, and I guess they started going out. And she was white. She was American. She was white. So they started going out, and she really fell in love with him. And she said, okay, I'll follow you if you'll stay with me. So it was like, okay then, but I have a wife, so you're gonna have to live somewhere else, but not in my house, you know, obviously. So they try to keep it like low key, like really like so people wouldn't know. But obviously in my hometown, like it's really small, like it's a really small community, so people can find out stuff really fast, and it'll spread around like really fast. So it started spreading around, and by the way, his kids were like already like 18, 20, around that age. She lived in another house, so obviously the wife wouldn't know. So like she lived in another house, and the dad would go back home to his wife and kids. Everybody in the town started finding out, and it was spreading around like crazy. The younger crowd, I guess, told the kids. And the kids found out, and obviously they were furious. They were so mad. They were like, excuse me, what do you mean? Like, you have kids, you have a wife. So they went to her house, they knocked at her house, and they were like, what are you doing? Like, he's my dad, he has a wife, like, he has kids, like, what are you doing? And then she was like, I'm sorry, you know, but I guess she told him that they fell in love. And then, the sons were like, we're gonna kill you, you know, they were like threatening her to kill her. And she was like, no, like, I'm ready, because she was pregnant, by the way. She got pregnant by him, so like obviously she was already in the middle of pregnancy. And the kids said that they were gonna kill him. So they literally grabbed her by the hair, I guess, and they were dragging her across the town. They were literally dragging her, and they were like leaving pieces of her hair, pieces of meat all over rocks, because it was rocky back then. It was like old town Mexico, if you know, like the old traditional Mexico where it's like all rock and sand on the floor. They were like scratching her up, like literally tearing her skin to the point where they were like pieces of meat like getting stuck to the ground, and like they were like dragging her across the town. And they took her to this like little area where it's like a mountain, and it was terrible. They chopped her up, I guess, and they like threw her in a bag, and they threw her inside a well. Well, I guess back then when my parents were like younger, and they said that it was like a little legend. They thought they were like, oh, this is probably like a stupid little legend, like they're telling me stuff. So they like little kids would go and throw rocks in the well. And they would always say, like, if you would throw a rock in there, you can hear her screaming in pain, you know, like, it's just scary to think about. And then my mom and dad didn't believe it until my aunt and my dad's sister, she told my mom that it was true, because she actually did it. Like, she threw the rock and she heard, and she was like, this is true, like, this is not something you mess around with, like, this is true. And my mom was so terrified, like, and then, like, they just tell me now, and, like, gives me chills. And, oh my god, you guys don't even know, I was so close to going to that well and, like, taking a look at it myself. And guess what happened? They literally put railroad tracks on it for trains. And I was so sad about it. I was like, no, what do you mean? Like, I could have literally experienced that. I was so excited because I don't know if you know me, but like, I really, like, I enjoy scary things. Like, I'm a little, like, pussy ass. Like, I get scared really fast. But honestly, I really wanted to experience it. I was like, I'm down just to, like, see it, you know? And there's this little story my mom told me about in the ranches in Mexico. Not in my hometown, like, ranches in Mexico, like, but farther away from where I live. And apparently there was this guy, or this man, that was riding on his donkey going around because I think he was going somewhere, I guess to his own hometown, I guess. And he was going through a journey, obviously. And then he was like, he saw this guy on a horse, and he was like, hey, can you like direct me to where I'm going, because I want to find the closest town to here so I can find, because it was already getting dark. He wanted to find like a place to stay and where they would give him food and like food for his donkey, or sell him food for his donkey and himself. So he found a place, and this old lady rented him a place, right? She gave him a place to sleep, and he gave her the money. It was all good. But she warned him, right before she went, she warned him. She was like, okay, you're going to hear a lot of things at night. Here, it's really crazy here. I guess there's like, you can hear people arguing, people shooting at each other. Like, it's a really crazy part of Mexico. And the guy was like, okay. So, and she told him, do not come out. When you hear it, do not come out. Like, just stay in your room. He was like, okay. And then he went to his room. It was already like night, I guess. And he would hear, obviously, he started hearing sounds. And he was like, oh, don't go outside. You know, he was scared. So he stayed in the room, and he would not come outside. And I guess the whole night he didn't sleep because he was so terrified of all the sounds going on. Like, it was just bad. It was bad. So, and then morning came around, and he went to go, like, thank the lady. He was like, oh, thank you so much, you know. He grabbed his donkey on his way, and she gave him food. So he was like, okay, thank you, you know. So he went on his way back to his journey. And about to get out of the town, if you know what I mean, he found this little store. He was like, oh, I should go get some water, you know, right before I leave. And then he told the lady, there was a lady working there. And he was like, hey, can I get some water, you know? I'm on my way. I just got some food from this lady. And he was like, oh, what lady? So he, like, started, like, he was like, oh, this is her name, blah, blah, blah. And, like, she was like, like, you know, I don't know who that is. So he started, like, describing her to the point where she knew who he was. He was like, it's some old lady. She's, like, around 80 years old, and this is her name. And he started describing her. And she was like, oh, my God, I know who that is. But the weird thing is that she told him, she was like, are you sure? Because that lady has been dead for a while now. Like, she's been dead for about, like, 8 years. And I was like, boy, when my mom told me this, I was shook. I was like, no thanks, you know? He literally stayed at some dead woman's house. I was like, she was probably like a ghost or something. And that's so creepy to think about. Like, I can't. I'm literally by myself right now, and I'm scared filming this right now. But you know, I don't care. I'm down for this YouTube video. And that was the video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below what you guys would like to see next. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I will be posting weekly. So until next time, guys, bye!